Okay, let's begin. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hamdan wa syukranillah, salatan wa salaman ala rasulillah. Amma ba'du. The Honorable to Head of Islamic College, Dr. Muttaqien, Mr. Dr. Surya Hadi Dharma, SPDI MUD. The Honorable to Chief Executive of Muttaqien English Academy, Mr. Haji Abdurrahman Saleh, LC MMPD, and the Honorable to and the special man for today, Mr. Dr. Roland Seiram Kukudabi, BSc MBA, right? Okay. The Honorable all reader, lecturer, and staff of Islamic College, Dr. Muttaqien, and also the audience and seminar participants. Happy brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so nervous. Okay, firstly, let's say thanks to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala who has been giving us His blessing and mercy so that we can gather in this place without something wrong happen. Amin. Secondly, may peace be upon our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam who has guided us into the right way of life. Happy brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen. Here I am, Saiful Mukti, you know that. As the master of ceremony will guide this seminar of grand launching about Muttaqien English Academy with the topic language development programs in professional academia and academic inquiry. Okay, happy brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, before starting our agenda, let me explain the agenda schedule of this seminar. The first agenda is opening. The second is greeting. The third agenda is a speech, the explanation from the keynote speaker. And then the last agenda is closing. Okay, happy brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen. The first agenda is opening. Let's start this agenda by reading Basmalah together. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, the second agenda is greeting. The first greeting is from the Chief Executive of Muttaqien English Academy, Mr. Haji Abdurrahman Saleh, LC MMPD. Time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa nusalli wa nusallimu ala rasulillah ibni abdillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajmin amma ba'du. Dilihat dari tadi tegang banget gitu. Santai aja lah ya. Santai aja, Bapak juga izin pakai bahasa Indonesia biar apa nanti yang disampaikan bisa dipahami dan mudah-mudahan kedepannya bisa kita laksanakan lancar dan sukses. Amin ya Allah ya Rabbal Alamin. Terima kasih kepada MC Pak Syaiful Mukti MPD yang sama-sama kita hormati Ketua STAI Dr. KHEZ Muttaqien Purwakarta Bapak Dr. Surya Hadi Dharma MUD, yang terhormat tamu kita ini dari Ghana ya, Mr. Dr. Roland ya, juga yang Bapak banggakan semua mahasiswa dari semua jurusan baik itu dari PAI, KVI, Ekonomi Syariah, Fiaud, KPI, HKI, juga sengaja yang S2 juga diundang. Kenapa? Karena mudah-mudahan kedepannya kita semua bisa untuk lancar lagi dalam berbicara bahasa Inggris. Yang saya hormati Pak Waka 1, Pak Dr. Siswanto M.Hum. Yang saya hormati Pak Waka 2, Pak Dr. Arif Mulyawan Thorik. Yang saya hormati Pak Waka 3, Bapak Dr. Dede Supendi MPD. Juga seluruh kepala pusat serta Kafrodi yang hadir di ruangan ya, juga seluruh staf yang hadir pada hari ini, yang mudah-mudahan kita semuanya dimuliakan oleh Allah Subhanahu wa taala. Amin ya Allah ya rabbal alamin. Puji dan puji milik Allah Subhanahu wa taala. Alhamdulillah di sore hari ini kita bisa bersilaturahmi dalam rangka mengupgrade kemampuan bahasa Inggris kita. Ya. Ketika tadi Pak Saiful Mukti berbicara, yakin semuanya paham, bisa. Tapi ketika nanti kita akan berbicara, mungkin agak sedikit berat untuk mengucapkannya. Oleh karena itu alhamdulillah Abah juga dibantu oleh Pak Ketua untuk menghadirkan langsung gitu ya dari Ghana dari Ghana, yang mudah-mudahan nanti membantu kepada kita untuk lancar berbahasa Inggris. Amin ya Allah ya rabbal alamin. Salawat dan salam mari kita limpahkan kepada baginda alam habibana wa nabiyana Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, kepada keluarganya, kepada sahabat atba'i tabi'in, serta kita semua sebagai umatnya, yang mudah-mudahan kita berhak mendapatkan syafaatil udma yaumal qiyamah. Amin ya Allah ya rabbal alamin. Pak Ketua, Mister, izinkan menyampaikan terkait dengan program Pusat Laboratorium Bahasa. Juga minta izin kepada Pak Ketua beserta reng-rengan tim. Pak Ketua katanya bikin logo seperti itu katanya. Itu katanya P, L, T katanya Pak Ketua. Jadi izin katanya untuk nanti di sertifikat. Insya Allah absen berjalan, insya Allah nanti itu ada sertifikatnya. Sehingga kehadiran mahasiswa-mahasiswi pada hari ini insya Allah di samping kita mendapatkan ilmu, juga kita mendapatkan sertifikat untuk menambah di SKPI gitu ya. Jadi insya Allah untuk program English Club ini gitu ya, kami dengan tim tiap hari nge-share untuk vocabulary-nya, untuk kosakatanya, baik itu bahasa Inggris, bahasa Arabnya. Nah, nanti setiap hari Kamis dan hari Ahad itu kita praktek langsung dengan Mr. Dr. Rulan ini. Jadi apa yang nanti kita hafalkan, nanti kita praktekkan. Ya syukur-syukur kalau kami satu hari itu hanya 5 vocabulary, TTAA mahasiswa bisa mengembangkan lebih banyak lagi. Sehingga nanti ketika ngobrol itu nya henteu hagen mugen gitu ya. Jadi henteu hagen mugen, jadi komunikatif gitu ya. Begitupun juga nanti minta kesediaannya kepada Pak Ketua untuk dibuka launching Arabic English Club, Arabic Club sekaligus tahsin dan tahfidz. Ya, jadi nanti juga insya Allah ke depannya jadwalnya di share di grup masing-masing prodinya. Nanti hari ini misalkan kegiatan untuk tahsin dulu, kemudian English Club, Arabic Club. Besoknya semester berapa dan semester berapa, sehingga nanti bahasa Inggrisnya oke, bahasa Arabnya oke, tahsin dan tahfidznya juga oke. Sehingga kena dengan doa Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah. Kita di muka bumi diberikan yang terbaik dan di akhirat juga yang terbaik. Insya Allah kalau kita menanam yang terbaik, kita akan panen juga yang terbaik. Mungkin itu aja yang bisa disampaikan. Nanti mohon kepada Pak Ketua untuk membuka sekaligus launching English Club, Arabic Club, tahsin dan tahfidz ya, yang di bawah pusat laboratorium terpadu gitu ya. Mungkin itu aja yang bisa disampaikan. Mohon nanti kepada yang lain yang belum ikut untuk hari ini nanti diinfokan, karena insya Allah untuk semester yang lainnya membantu nanti untuk TOEFL dan TOEFL, karena TOEFL dan TOEFL sekarang itu terpadu. Nanti yang pasca juga insya Allah ada tes TOEFL dan TOEFL-nya, apalagi yang S1-nya baik dari PAI-nya, KPI, HKI dan PIAUD dan segalanya. Mungkin itu aja yang bisa disampaikan. Wallahu muwaffiq ila aqwamit thoriq. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much for the greeting. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the second greeting is from the head of Islamic College, Dr. Muttaqien, Mr. Dr. Surya Hadi Dharma, SPD MOD. Time is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Yang saya hormati Pak Kepala Pusat Pengembangan Laboratorium, Kepala Pusat Laboratorium Terpadu Pak KHEZ Abdurrahman Saleh LC MPD, yang sangat kita hormati bersama, tamu kita yang spesial, Mr. Roland, yang sengaja datang dari Ghana, Afrika, terbang dari Afrika datang ke STAI. Itu ya, jadi nanti setelah acara ini beliau ke Afrika lagi, nanti pas kita undang datang lagi ke sini dan seterusnya. Ini berarti luar biasa Pak Kiai Abdurrahman menyiapkan segala rupanya. Dan yang saya hormati Pak Saiful Mukti serta rekan-rekan mahasiswa dari program Pascasarjana, kemudian juga ada mahasiswa S1 dari masing ataupun semua prodi. Puji syukur kita panjatkan kepada Allah Subhanahu wa taala, salawat dan salam semoga tetap terlimpahkan atas junjungan Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Rekan-rekan sekalian, ini merupakan launching Pak Haji ya, untuk program English Club dan juga Arabic Club dan tahsin gitu ya. Ini bagian dari bagaimana melalui pusat laboratorium terpadu ini membangun mentalitas mahasiswa, membangun habit untuk membiasakan bahasa Arab maupun Inggris. Akan banyak sekali, tadi Pak Mukti sampaikan, barangkali ada rekan-rekan yang ngerti apa yang Pak Mukti sampaikan, tapi bingung gitu ya, kalau mau menirunya kayak gimana. Paling bisa ladies aja gitu ya, ladies and gentlemen dan seterusnya. Dan itu sangat wajar. Nampaknya rekan-rekan yang kursus bahasa Inggris pun jika tidak dibiasakan untuk berani berkomunikasi, berani untuk mencoba, pasti di awal ragu-ragu. Tapi mudah-mudahan di pertemuan kedua, ketiga Anda lebih interaktif, rekan-rekan lebih berani untuk menyampaikan pendapat, menyampaikan atau berlatih bersama untuk bahasa Arab dan juga bahasa Inggris pada khususnya. Kemudian yang selanjutnya rencana berarti hari Kamis dan Minggu Pak Mukti ya, Pak Haji ya. Untuk praktiknya Kamis jam 1, hari Minggu jam berapa Pak? Jam 1. Jadi Kamis jam 1, Minggu jam 1. Rekan-rekan tinggal ikut, enggak perlu ikut kursus di apa biasanya? Yang berbayar gitu ya. Gitu, free, Anda tinggal datang, hadir di majelis, insya Allah akan banyak hal positif yang bisa kita dapatkan dari pertemuan ini. Saya pengen cek dulu nih yang teman-teman penerima KIP berapa orang di sini? Penerima beasiswa KIP hanya 2 orang. Ke depan yang penerima KIP ini wajib mengikuti kegiatan termasuk pengembangan bahasa. Itu ya, nanti diinformasikan untuk 53 orang penerima KIP kuliah agar ikut program semacam ini. Gitu. target dari kami senyatanya punya impian yang cukup besar. Rekan-rekan yang hari ini dilatih untuk pengembangan bahasa, ketika ada peluang-peluang untuk melanjutkan studi ke luar negeri, itu bisa diambil oleh rekan-rekan. Gitu. Jadi perlu saya informasikan, tahun lalu ada alumni kita yang lanjut ke Brunei Darussalam. Ada 2 orang. Kemudian kemarin mencoba daftar ke Turki, cuman nampaknya belum ada rezekinya. Tapi yang LPDP ada beberapa orang yang lulus. Nah, ini yang ingin kami kembangkan, bahwa ke depan mudah-mudahan semakin banyak mahasiswa kita yang bisa mengambil peluang program beasiswa, pertukaran pelajar, pertukaran mahasiswa dengan negara-negara lain. Insya Allah di tanggal 10, 11, 12 dari kami juga ada perwakilan untuk hadir dengan kedutaan Belanda. Itu ada insya Allah Bu Ade, mungkin juga nanti saya atau Pak Ridwan untuk hadir di acara itu. Untuk tadi rencana kita itu ada riset bersama, kemudian juga ada pertukaran mahasiswa gitu. Nah, untuk pertukaran kan mesti dibangun dulu mentalnya gitu. Hari ini kita coba bangun mentalitas untuk berani menyampaikan bahasa asing gitu ya. Jadi tidak perlu takut untuk menyampaikan itu gitu. Ya minimal yes dan no dulu saja kan gitu. Gitu. Kita tiru presiden kita kan gitu. Pokoknya no kan gitu. Sederhana, yang penting mentalnya dulu. Mudah-mudahan ini bisa menjadi jalan bagi kita semua untuk sivitas akademika, membiasakan berbahasa asing. Kalau nanti berjalan sampai 1-2 tahun, nampaknya kita juga bisa nanti 1 hari pakai bahasa Arab, 1 hari pakai bahasa Inggris, dan seterusnya. Itu banyak mimpi yang ingin kita capai, tentu perlu kerjasama, perlu kerja keras dan kerja cerdas dari semua komponen, semua elemen yang ada di STAI DR Muttaqien Purwakarta. Sekali lagi thank you very much Mr. Roland sudah hadir di STAI Muttaqien dan memberikan 6 bulan ke depan ini. Mudah-mudahan bisa diperpanjang sampai 1-2 tahun sampai teman-teman semuanya lancar untuk berbahasa Inggris. Itu ya, jadi jangan hanya 6 bulan, Mr. ya. Begitu. Jadi Mr. Roland menyampaikan belajar bahasa Inggrisnya ke teman-teman, teman-teman kasih tahu bahasa Sunda gitu ya. Gitu. Ya, hatur nuhun, Mr. ya. Sami-sami ya. Oke, rekan-rekan sekalian, terima kasih, nampaknya sudah tidak sabar untuk mendengarkan penjabaran tentang pengembangan bahasa Inggris ini. Sekali lagi kami ucapkan terima kasih khususnya kepada Pusat Laboratorium Terpadu atas terselenggaranya kegiatan hari ini. Mudah-mudahan memberikan manfaat yang luar biasa untuk kita semua. Dan secara resmi dengan membacakan basmalah bersama-sama, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, acara launching Pusat Pengembangan Bahasa dan Laboratorium Terpadu resmi dibuka. Terima kasih. Walafu minkum. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you so much for the greeting, Mr. Dr. Surya. Okay, happy brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen. The next agenda is the main agenda for today. Yeah, I think okay, the next agenda is the explanation from the keynote speaker to Mr. Dr. Roland Sairam Kokodabi, BSc MBA. Time is yours.
Thank you very much. Director, STAI, Dr. Surya, the head of English program, STAI, Dr. KHEZ Muttaqien, and my very good friend, the IT support. Yes, the topic for today's seminar, I'll try as much as possible to speak my English language slowly. Tidak lancar. Because I'll be very happy if everybody understands what I say. In case you don't get something, just note it down. During the question and answer session, you ask. I will gladly answer anything. Anything in English, just speak up, provided we have time. Yeah, we are looking at the language development programs in professional academia and academic inquiry. What we are doing today is not limited to only Bahasa English, Islam, Arab, all languages. The only difference is that the medium of presentation is in English. It doesn't mean the seminar is limited to English. Every language that is needed to move forward the academic reputation, the academic outstandingness of students and faculty to achieve corporate goals and objectives are included in this seminar paper. Yeah, basically we'll be looking at the introduction, which is talking about the definition of concepts. The concepts defined are basically the proficiency, language proficiency. Then we'll look at the importance. Why do we need language proficiency in academia? We'll look at the objectives, that is the goals, and what are the benefits. Then we'll look at the methodology, approach. What approach do we use to achieve the language development program? Then, in life, everything comes with what? Certain class of challenges. So we'll look at what are the challenges in an attempt to develop, an academic system, language, and what are the solutions. I try as much as possible to bring out some solutions that are needed. Then we look at the conclusion. Now, as I said, this seminar explores the significance, of language development programs in the context of academia. And when we talk about language development program, the key concept there is what? Proficiency. Proficiency. That is the main thing that we are looking at there. It is a very crucial skill in every aspect of academia, on the side of the student and on the side of the faculty. Because if a student doesn't understand the language which is used as a medium of teaching and learning, that student cannot do the tugas and pass for the grades. And when we look at this, as I gave in the objectives, because of time, I'll try to be very brief as much as possible. So what do we mean by proficiency? Proficiency is basically looking at the ability to communicate. What is communication? Komunikasi, bahasa Indonesia. What is communication? Communication is a process where an information is encoded from one person to the other. For example, from me to my little girl. If I tell my little girl, bring me buku, and she brings buku, it means communication process successful. But when I say bring buku, and she brings a pull pen, it means I have not communicated. Something went wrong. And anything that distracts the communication process is referred to as what? Noise. Woo! That is what I'm referring to. So the proficiency of language is basically ability to understand, encode, decode. And this comes with what? Speaking, like what I'm doing. Listening, and listening attentively. To listen. Okay? And what? Reading, bacaan. So if we're able to do this, for example, if you and I are talking, which we call in English a dialogue, and anything I say you reply in affirmation, which shows that you understand what I'm saying, it increases the confidence level of the parties involved in the communication process. But then, when you speak Sunda, and I don't understand, what happens is that psychologically you have a headache. Because the brain is struggling to process the communication process, but there is a noise, there is a hitch, there is a limitation. So you could not understand what the person is saying. Now, why is it important? Why is language development important in the context of what? Academia. When we talk about academia, we are talking about the university system. Because in every university setting, before a student can earn the grades, the student must understand what is being taught in the lecture hall. The student will exhibit the understanding by writing the examination, UTAs and whatever, and pass. If you make the grades, it means you have understood. So if I get to the class, my background is English, and I am teaching Arabic, how? How can I teach Arabic? You get a point. It means that there is a language barrier, because my medium of information is not the medium that you understand. So in 10,000 good years, you will never understand what I'm saying. So at the end of the day, what am I making? Woo! Noise. Okay? Now, one of the critical importance of language in academia is what? Effective communication. I just explained what communication is. Communication, hello, how are you? You see, it means there is an understanding. And I get your understanding through the feedback. And what is the feedback? I am fine. But when I say, how are you? And you start running, the communication is not effective. So in an academia, language assists us to communicate effectively. One challenge I have observed in Indonesia even till now, I don't have friends. Maybe Pa Sipu is becoming my friend. I don't have friends because they see me not to understand Bahasa Indonesia. And they are also not able to speak English, so everybody avoids me. That is one challenge. So communication is not effective. Research and academic writing. In every academic institution, for you to be a top-notch, you must be able to publish in journals. You know, as a lecturer like me, there are certain rules that govern lecturing. The rule is you publish or you perish. You publish in journals. You publish in a competitive journals. You constantly publish in a competitive impact high-ranking journals. So what it means is that you must always be ready to write. If you are limited to one language, let's say Bahasa Indonesia, Bahasa Arab, you cannot publish in any Scopus journal, which is what? In English, because you don't understand English. And when we take STAI, I always dove my heart because it is purely a religious institution, which is based on Islam, Arab, and the rest. But they are bringing in English. The advantage the institution stands is that they can publish in any journal of their international choice. And it increases their reputation. It gives them a high-ranking impact. Global outreach. If you can speak any language, you can travel easily, true or false. Example, when you go to the internet, most of the contents are in English language because English has become a global kind of language. I always tell my students that English is not the best. No. There is no language which is superior over the other. Every language is unique. However, the popularity of the language depends on the number of people who speak the language. Any part of the world you go, out of every 5 orang, 2 speaks English. You get a point? You can go to school anywhere. Teaching and instructions in teaching and learning process, if you know the language you are using, you are there. Accessibility of knowledge. Ilmu. Okay? We transfer knowledge through communication, through language. There are 2 basic types of communication. What we are doing now, that is the verbal communication process, and then the non-verbal communication process. Okay? The non-verbal communication is more on gestures. For example, in my country, Ghana, if I make my face like this, everybody knows I'm angry. Mara. Okay? So I don't need to tell you I'm angry before you know I'm angry. And those signs speak more volume than words. Now, we have just identified the importance. What are the objectives, the goals, and the benefits? Someone will ask me, what is the difference between goals and objectives? Those of us who are learning English, in some books, you see goals and objectives used as the same. They are not the same. Yes. Goals and objectives are not the same. Even though we use them to bring out an idea from a pasar, from a market. When I say market, I don't mean where tomatoes and the rest are sold. I'm talking about the intellectual capacity market, the head. Okay. Now, objectives are more measurable and time-bound than goals, even though they are all wishes. For example, Chontonya. I told myself by 5 years from a time behind, I will obtain my doctorate degree in management sciences. So by 5 years, by the end of 2023, I should be a doctor. Objective, because a time is assigned. So I work towards the frame to achieve it before the time. But if I say I'll be a doctor before I die, I don't know how soon, I don't know how long it will take. That is the goal. Okay. Now, when we talk about objectives, it improves our language proficiency. If you can speak more than 2, 3, 4 languages, even wherever you go, you have a brush up. Because any language is spoken, you are there. Anything anybody says, you understand. So it increases your confidence level. When you have the language proficiency, it improves the confidence level of the student. It improves the confidence level of the faculty member. For example, when my brother was introducing the agenda, you will find some kind of trembling. He was shy or he was threatened by the language. Not because he's not good at it, but maybe because he's feeling intimidated because there is a native speaker available, which shouldn't be the case. Okay, and before you can achieve this proficiency improvement, be ready to make mistakes. There is nobody on earth who is perfect. We are trying to attain perfection, but we can never be perfect. So don't say that if I speak English, I'll make a mistake. Hey, English. Hey, bahasa English. Susah. Says by who? English is not difficult. English is mudah. Very easy. When I'm speaking English, does it sound difficult? I was once like you before I was born. So you can be like me when you practice. There is nothing which is difficult on this earth. There is no barrier to growth, and there is no barrier to success. English is never difficult. Then, enhancing academic communication, as we are doing. Language enhances your academic communication. As I mentioned, you'll be able to read, listen, write your articles, write your exams, and pass well. It facilitates academic success. All these objectives superimpose, they run into each other. Because if you are able to attain language proficiency, academic communication, it gives you the academic success. Because once you understand the language or the basis of what you are supposed to do, whatever you get as a tugas, you should be able to handle it. It increases access to education. If you can speak, let's say, as I mentioned, 3-4 languages, Arab, French, Bahasa Indonesia, Bahasa English, Spanish, Russia. If you can move to any of these countries to further your education. But interestingly, on my part, I couldn't speak Bahasa Indonesia. And I know Indonesia doesn't speak English, but I chose Indonesia for my doctoral degree. Why? Because I am ready to assume the risk. Okay? Then it also elevates institutional reputation. I said it earlier, that STAI, which we know to be an university of language, Islam, Arab, and inculcating English into their curricula, will give them a high-notch ranking. How is this identified? Through publications in journals, workshops like what we are doing, conferences, seminars. Okay? Then what are the goals? The same thing as we stated, but here they are more specific. It improves the language proficiency. It enhances academic writing skills. You are confident. There is nothing in English that will be given to me that I can't write, because I know English is my first language. In Ghana, English is my first language. I don't have any national language. So my child of 3 years speaks very good English. So anything I pick in English, I know how to do it. And when you are speaking English as a foreign language, once I read your script C, I know you are not a native speaker. But it is not the meaning that you can never be a native speaker. We have native speakers like me. We have near native speakers. And we have proficient speakers. These are the 3 categories of language speaking. Native speaker like me, I am born into the language. So my first language is what I am speaking. Near native, I am not having my language as my first language, but maybe my second language, and it is very close to what I do. Proficient speaking, those of us who are seated here. Because Indonesia, I always say you do well in English, because English is not even your first language. It's not your second language. It's not your third language. In some cases, 4th language. Why? If you have parents, your mother is a Sunda, your father is a Javanese. In the house, Ruma, you speak your mother tongue, Sunda. You can't speak your daddy's language first, because you suck your mother's breast. You slept in your mother's tummy. So you speak your mother's language first. Then the second language will be your father's language, Javanese. Your third language will be what? Bahasa Indonesia. Then your 4th language is English language. Okay? Then it also gives us a presentation like what I'm doing now. It enhances your presentation ability. Presentation by word of mouth, presentation by any other means that you have chosen. What are some of the benefits of these goals when we achieve them? It enhances our learning experience. Once you are able to read and understand, you acquire additional knowledge. You explore. I don't know if somebody also had the experience or have the experience I had when I was in school. If I am my background is accountancy, then Kuangan. My diploma accountancy, higher national diploma accountancy, S1 accountancy Kuangan, S2 accountancy Kuangan, S3 accountancy Kuangan. So I am more into figures, calculations. And because that is the field I have chosen, I've got more experience in it because I've designed the goals and objectives at the beginning of my acculturating process. What have I achieved? What is the benefit of this goal? Academic success. I'm a doctor. Even though this is not my last point of schooling, I'm going back to school. Yes. I'll be going to school until I die. What will I use myself for if I don't go to school? That is the question I ask. Okay? I am not schooling because of what I stand to benefit. I am schooling to have enough and give to people who need it. I want to touch lives. So, you achieve the academic success, your research and publishing, you publish in a lot of journals. You can do anything. You know, the confidence level will definitely increase. Then global collaboration. STIE can decide to go into collaboration with any university in Europe because they have the English proficiency, they have the Arab proficiency, they have the Islam proficiency, they have the French proficiency. Whichever area you decide to go, we are good to go. You know, in language, English, we call something, I know it is in, well, you may not be doing those things there because this is not the management science institution. The SWOT analysis. You identify your strength. You identify your weaknesses. You identify your opportunities and your threats. Then you try to see how best you can use your strength to overcome. Then, career advancement. Once the institution has a solid, effective, efficient, comprehensive, and globally acceptable language program, the career advancement is that it attracts SISWA. A lot of students will come, especially those who are ready and willing to attain the height of what? Academic success. What are some of the approaches? How do we approach the attainment of what we are discussing? You know, language development programs depends on the teaching and learning process and the availability of the resources. What you don't have, you can't give. Okay? So whatever teaching and learning method adopted by the institution is what will be the method that you will use. For example, I observed something at STIE when I came today. I realized that instead of an employee, career one, signing an attendance sheet, they clock in with your finger. You just put your finger on a machine, it picks. Because they have that resource. So if I pick this method to my university in Ghana, where we don't have that resource, how would that make? So the feasibility of the method depends on the teaching and learning process and the resources that you have at your disposal. Okay? So one, immersive language course. This is a very critical area. When we talk about immersive language, if in English class, for example, my class, Bahasa English, The immersive process method is that in everything we do, we are doing it in Bahasa English. Whatever communication we have in class, we are speaking English. If you want to speak to me, you are speaking English. When I meet you outside campus, whatever conversation between you and I is going to be in English. That is the immersive language course we are talking about. And the deficiency I have observed, which may not necessarily be a problem, is that the English teachers of Indonesia speak English language with Bahasa Indonesia. When they mention the thing and the student doesn't understand, they change it to Bahasa Indonesia for the student to understand what they are saying. It is wrong. Challenge the student to be independent. Challenge the student to be logical. Challenge the student to be critical in thinking. So in my class, Bahasa English, you are not going to use Google to translate Bahasa Indonesia to English for me. Look into my face, speak to me. If it is wrong, I'll correct you. That is why I am your teacher. A student is not expected to be perfect. A student is to be guided by the lecturer to attain the height of academic success. So if I ask a question, whatever comes to your mind, speak it. Forget about mistakes. I will correct you because we are in classroom. And if I correct you and I meet you outside, I'll ask you the same question and see if you have not lupa. Are we getting the point? So the immersive language is what we need here. So as you are looking into my face now, are these the students I'll be teaching English? These are the students, eh? Very good. As you are looking, I thought I'm coming to teach today. I thought I'm coming to teach pronunciation and the rest before you send this to me. As you are looking into my face now, wherever you meet me, don't tell me, pa, apakaba, apagini. Speak English. Oh, mister, good morning. Oh, good morning. How are you? Have we met before? Oh, yes. STAI. Wow. Congratulations. I'll see you in class tomorrow. Super. And that is a practice one. And because of this, when you see me, then you run away. You are on a motorbike. You see, hey, is that not, Mr. Roland? Hey, I'm not ready for English. Tidak mau cara bahasa Inggris. Bahasa Inggris susah. Says by who? It is your mindset. It is your mindset. English is not difficult. Extremely easy, not ordinarily easy. Sekali, easy. Very easy. Then workshops. One method we use is workshops. We use the workshops to interact. We form different, session groups. You assign tasks. You let the people, the participants, or the audience, or the students, whichever name you give them, try to participate and bring out what they have. The more you practice, the more your confidence level increases. And the more you feel like part of the process. Okay? Then another method is what? One-on-one coaching. Face-to-face. For example, what's your name? Yeah? Nigel. I'm Roland. I pick Nigel now. Then we are like dialogue. He has become my language mentee. I am his language mentor. Okay, so I have taken Nigel as a kulia, which I always make sure that I practice with him, I teach him, and I want him to get to the top. That is one method. Okay, then language labs, which I'll find out if STAE doesn't have language lab. I'll personally recommend. You can go to the language lab, which can even be the library. How do you call library in Bahasa Indonesia? It has never stuck on my mind all these years. You just go, you sit down, you put a headphone on, then you listen. Like the way we do TOEFL and IELTS practice. You listen. to the English, the language that you want to hear. You try to practice. You close the device. Then you test yourself. Always challenge yourself. Let me give you this secret of success in language programming or whatever endeavor in life. Before you can get to the top, move away from your comfort zone. Deny yourself happiness. I decided to come to Indonesia for my doctoral degree program. I left my wife and my children in Ghana, and I am here alone. All the opportunities I have in Ghana, I have left them. Yes, but you can't do everything for me. That's why you know. So the language labs also help, which are part of the technology and innovation integrations into the learning process. Then conversation partners or tandem learning. You form little groups among yourself. And these conversation partners can be in form of a cultural experience. Through the language process, if you have a cultural practice, it allows you to know non-verbally how to speak the language by action and inaction. Then we talk about the cultural immersion programs, as I just mentioned. Then peer-to-peer language exchange. What is peer-to-peer? You are students, so you are peers. People of the same social class. People of Usia Sama, the same age. People of the same status. We call them peers because they influence one another's thought and thinking. For example, if I'm going home and my friend says, Mr. Roland, don't go home. Let's go to a coffee shop. Because he's a Temang, he easily is my friend, so he easily influences my decision. We see each other as what? Co-equals or sama. Those are the people. So you can assign yourselves, hello, today we are speaking English the whole day. No Sunda, no Javanese, no Bahasa Indonesia. You can only achieve these methods when you are dedicated. Dedicated means what? Avail yourself to the process. The assignment that you have given to yourself, make sure you go by it. Manage your time properly. Manage your stress properly. And design a proper jadwal, a schedule, or otherwise a timetable that will assist you achieve whatever you want to achieve. Now, having discussed the traditional methods, looking at the global app of the world now, you see that everything now has moved high-tech, global. There is nobody seated in this room without telephone. Everybody has a mobile phone, right? What do we use our mobile phones for? Twitter, Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook. Then the ladies use it to buy their Shopee, online things. These devices we have is part of the technological integration into the language process and into our lives. Okay? Interactive learning platforms like what we have, the mobile phones, the laptops, and there are so many ways we can. Language learning apps. We have Dualo, we have Rosita, a lot of them that you can download and do whatever. And they give you instant feedback. One thing I like about learning is that I always learn on my own on platforms where if I give the answer, Bahasa will tell you answer. Those of us who will be doing the English, you see that why it is not answer, why it is answer. A-N-S-W-E-R. Indonesia say answer. In English, it's not answer. It is answer because the W is a silent word and it is not pronounced. That is just by the way. So we use the virtual reality and the augmented reality apps which are part of the technology, the artificial intelligence, GPT, bard.com, and a lot of translators. Hello, bro. Then what are some of the challenges? You know, in every human endeavor, there are sets of challenges, true or false? Well, for Indonesia, I've observed something which is completely different from my country. I'll be tight-lipped, I won't say it. Okay? But on the face of it, Indonesia is so relaxed. Indonesian people are so relaxed. They do everything at their own time. And everything that they are doing, they are happy with it. They are content with it. Which is completely different from my country, but I'll not go too much into details. So everything that has a human element has an error, a level of error. Anything that human being is involved has a percentage of error. I said earlier that no human being is perfect, right? So once we are not perfect, we have degree of error. So mistakes will definitely come. So we can't discuss this without bringing out some of the challenges that we face. Like what we are saying here. In developing the language, when they are non-native speakers, like you are non-native speakers when it comes to Bahasa English. But for Islam, you are native speakers. Arab, you are non-native speakers. Maybe there are few people here who can speak Arab very well. So some of these challenges hinder the academic progress. It limits the proficiency. For example, I'm trying to make it look simple in my language because you are non-native speakers. What will make the limitation in the proficiency is what? The lack of confidence. The lack of being able to take away the shyness. The nervousness aspect that must always be taken out of every communication process. So those are the academic writing skills challenged. Pronunciation and accents. It is one thing that I'll deal with very keenly with the class. Yes, pronunciations and accents. Indonesia people who speak English use the Australian accent. Yes. Meanwhile, we have the American accent. I use the British accent. And the British accent is clearer and more friendly than America. America, what I do? You gotta fuck with doing, man. You gotta rock, man. That's America for you. They don't pronounce their accents distinctively. They rhyme it. They slay. They slang it. But the British will speak for you to words like, letters like F in a sentence or in a word. A lot of Indonesians pronounce it as P. Yes. Words like V. Some pronounce as F. Yes. Like, I don't want to bring out examples for personal reasons. Maybe because there are docents are here, so when we meet in class, I'll bring examples and give you. So we'll be looking at our pronunciations very well. Like when I said answer. When you say answer, they don't understand unless you say answer. There is no word called answer. Like doctor and doctor. It's not in English. They are all doctor. Doctor. Whether it is O-R-E-R, is pronounced as doctor. So when we begin to look at the phonetics, the symbols and sounds of phonetics, how to pronounce words with those are some of the sounds that we'll be looking at when we are looking at the vowels and the consonants. Okay? So we have to work on pronunciations very, very keenly. Yes. Then cultural nuances, cultural differences, cultural uncertainties. for any institution to have a very good, language program, everything that they do in terms of developing the language must factor in the cultural, the language must be culturally sensitive. That is, you must factor all the cultures who or which will be part of the program into it, so that nobody steps on the toes of the other, which most of the language programs try to ignore because they don't see it. So the fear of speaking, we talk about the confidence level. Okay? Many academicians, my head of English speaks very good English, but when he sees me, he doesn't want to speak. He has some kind of fear. That is the rule number one for us, the non-native speakers. Okay? We must be able to speak the language and should be comfortable, we don't need to face anything. As I said earlier, speak to me, make a mistake. If you make a mistake, you don't know because you don't know the language. It is me who will tell you that you have made a mistake and I'll correct you. So what are you afraid of? You don't get my point, right? If you speak English or Arab or any other language, Russia, and you make a mistake, you the one speaking, you don't know that you are making a mistake because it is not your language. The one to whom you are speaking will tell you that you have made a mistake. So why are you afraid to speak? What are you afraid of? Anything that comes to mind, just say it. The classroom, the presentations, and everything. Now, some of the solutions, if they are achieved, one, regular practice. Okay? Ability to absorb language as an individual or a faculty member has 3 functions. Practice, function number 1. Practice, function number 2. Practice, function number 3. You practice through face-to-face, YouTube, coaching, class interactions, go to the lab, you listen. There are any material you see in the language that you are interested in, read. Let me tell you one thing. I try to read newspaper in Bahasa Indonesia, even though I don't understand the language to that level. But when you are reading a language that you are not familiar with, you are getting familiar with the words. Kata kata. Even though you don't understand the words, but you are getting the pronunciation. So the next time someone mentions that word or the set of words, it will ring a bell. I've heard this word before. Then you begin to crave for the meaning of the word. I talk about immersive experience, okay? You make it a fundamental language. You speak it at functions. You speak it anytime that it is needed. Language courses and training programs. We try to organize seminars. We try to organize English camps among ourselves. We can even create a day, come here. We just have, when you learn a language in an informal setting, the assimilation is more easy. When we are learning Arab or whatever language outside the classroom, and we are teasing each other, we get the understanding better than you sit in class. A lecturer will try to teach you. Then we look at the individualized language coaching, as I spoke about earlier. We try to pick people who get the understanding in the language, native speakers, near native speakers, those who are very proficient in the language. It will also help you to overcome the challenges. Then we talk about the cultural sensitivity training. I discussed this already. Time management, stress management, advocacy, and support. When you get to the university level, it is only you who can manage yourself. In Ghana, when we get to SMR, and you are a boarding student, before you can move out of campus, there must be someone who must sign an excerpt for you. Okay? But when you get to the university, you manage your own time. You manage your stress. Stress as in, oh, today I want to practice language, but I'm tired, chape, I'm hungry. Sayamau tidu, dulu. No. Okay? Now, what will be the impact or the outcomes on this? This is divided into two. We have the research findings. We have the worldwide practical findings. It improves research output. It increases collaboration, enhances academic performance, career advancement. It increases global availability or visibility. Then the real world examples, research collaborations. Where I am now, I'm in Indonesia. I don't speak Indonesia very well, but I'm collaborating with some lecturers in universities in Indonesia to publish in high-ranking Scopus journals. Because of what? I can speak a little bit of the Indonesia, and they can also speak a little bit of what? Bahasa, my language. So it is assistant. Teaching excellence. If you watch my delivery, you can see some kind of confidence in the way I deliver. Not because I am a cum laude student, but because I understand the language I speak. I have practiced it all over my years. So when I'm speaking, it gives me the edge. That is the teaching excellence we are talking about. Then the global partnerships, which is the same as what? The visibility. It enhances institutional reputation. I mentioned it severally that STAI is a language university, but with the program of language that is instituted, which will give each and everybody, even though you are not an Indonesian, but if you want to do Arabic, you can get it here. If you want to do, Russia, you get it here. If you want to do English, you get it here. It attracts people to the table. Then successful grant acquisition. If you can penetrate the world, any proposal you can write in a language where you can access the funds for research and development. What we lecturers do is that we write proposal, then we assess what? Grants. We get money. We don't publish free. One of my papers I published, that is in a Scopus Q2, I paid $1,300, which was around 10 juta, 10 million rupiah, just for one paper to be published. So, yeah, so quite apart from what we have discussed, there are other long-term benefits that will derive. It increases publication opportunities, as I just said, competitive advantage. When we talk about competitive advantage, what it means is that all of us are here, but there is a strength that you have, which stands tinggi than everybody. For example, we all write exams. Some people score A, some score B, some score C, right? It means that there are some who have certain skills and academic excellence or strength which cannot be duplicated by the rest. That gives you the competitive advantage. You are always ahead because what you have is heroic. It is within you and nobody can copy it. So once you have a formidable, comprehensive, effective, efficient, and a workable language program in the institution, you are good to go. It increases the funding opportunities. I've discussed that earlier. So, this is all about to foster a deeper understanding of the role of language development programs in professional academia, addressing the importance, the objectives, the methodologies, the challenges, the impact outcomes, and whatever we need to do. So this is the beginning. We are setting the ball rolling. And most probably when we meet next week for lecture, we'll do a lot and a lot of things. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Okay, give applause for the best presentation from Mr. Dr. Roland. It's amazing, I think. Okay, everybody, I think you all want to make question, I think. Okay, because that, yeah, I think you can, I will give 3 people, yeah, to make one question for Mr. Dr. Roland. 3 people. Proceed 3 people. Right? Okay. I give 1 people who want to make a question. Okay. Please come forward. Come forward.
Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, before I just going to say, wow, Masya Allah. First, I'm permitted to introduce myself. My name is Diah Irawati. I'm from PAI semester 5. I'm sorry, before, can I ask you in Indonesia? Okay. But before, I'm sorry if my words is so bad. Yes, because I learned English in 15 years ago. I'm sorry.
No problem.
Okay, Mr. Ronald.
Roland.
Yes, Roland. How can I approve my speak in English? Because that I learned English in 15 years ago, and my life now so many thoughts because I am ibu rumah tangga ya.
You are married, you are busy.
Yes.
And that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Sibuk selalu.
Yes, I'm so busy. Okay. I want some your tapes. Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you for your question.
You have spoken a very good English. Clear, comprehensive, effective, and well-toned. What made you think that because 15 years ago you could not speak? It's because of what? The fear. Whatever trick you want, I've given the trick out already. Practice. After 15 years, have you practiced English with anybody or read anything English continuously? Lancha. Have you done it before? So all you need to do is you practice. Practice with someone, practice via coaching, practice with your husband at home. Even when you speak and he doesn't reply in English, just continue speaking to him. You watch movies in English, read book. No, I'm giving you the tricks.
No.
I am giving you the tricks.
Okay.
You watch movies in English.
Okay.
You read anything material.
Song in English.
Song in English. You read books in English. You pay attention to the words.
Okay.
Okay? If you don't understand something, you write it down. For now, I'm here. For now, I am at STAI.
Okay.
You will find me Kamis than Mingu, Thursdays and Sundays. When you give it to him, he gives it to me, or you see me, Mr. Roland, this I don't understand. I won't hesitate to teach you. I want my being here to have a positive influence on your language. That is the one I speak. Okay? So don't worry. You will pick up. Just more practice and that's all. Don't be scared. Okay. You are not bad.
Although my family, my husband cannot speak English.
Teach him. Use him as a kuliah.
Okay, inshallah, yes.
So you'll be explain to him that in school you have to learn English, practice by force. So speak to him. When he says, saya tidak ngerti maksud, then you explain to him in Bahasa Indonesia. Then you speak to him again the next time. If he doesn't get it, okay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, 2 people. Okay, you and one.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Let me introduce myself. My name is Heni Nopianti.
I'm Roland.
Okay, nice to meet you, Roland.
Nice meeting you.
Okay. I'm from PAUD 5. PAUD 5, okay. I'm trying to get confidence to stay here talking with you. And I want to ask something. If we learn English with you to get journal international, right? Okay. So I suppose I have to learn more because just a minute.
Don't worry. Relax and flow. Relax and santai. Flow.
Okay.
Just flow.
Just flow, okay. I know that when we write a journal in English, we know right. I think Google Translate is not apa ya? Bukan is not easy, maksudnya tidak direcommend gitu ya. Untuk not recommended to write journal.
We write articles. We don't write a journal. We write article and submit to a journal.
Oh, okay, I see. And I already have 2 article international, but I'm not really understand what I'm write because I look to Google Translate with not recommended. So let me.
Have you translated into English already with Google?
Yes.
Give it to Park. I'll look at it for you. I'll do the native translation for you.
Okay.
I will assist you do the recommended translation as a native speaker. So you give it to him. When he gives it to me and I do the translation, I'll make comments.
Okay.
So that when you look at the comment, you will understand what it means.
Okay.
Then we pick it up from there. You know, you can't just stand up one day and speak like me.
Yes, I want.
It's a process.
Yeah.
Okay, so satu.
One by one, slowly but sure.
Always just relax, be confident.
Yep.
Whatever comes to mind, say it. You are good to go.
Okay. Someday I want to be just like you.
You are already like me. It's because you are afraid.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Roland.
Yeah, welcome.
Okay, thank you. Give applause to Miss siapa? Miss Henny. Okay, thank you, Miss Henny, for your question. And one person who want to make question. You are? You want? Mana? Siapa?
Please, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. In English. Please introduce. For my name is Mulas Nuprijal. My short name is Ari. I'm from Ekonomi Syariah in in semester is English? Semester 5. Yes. I live in Sukasari, Purwakarta. Sorry.
Relax and flow.
Siap. Mister, I'm in this time very appreciative for this seminar because before I not want to speak English. My English is bad.
It's not bad.
Not bad.
No.
Sorry. Sorry.
Don't worry. You have the
My
time.
pronoun is lupa.
Don't forget.
No, forget. Jadi astagfirullahaladzim.
So
For next time, we are study is 2 time. Kamis itu bahasa Inggrisnya?
2 times, Thursday, Thursday.
Today.
Thursdays and Sundays.
Tuesday and Sunday. Nah, what is time? We are make a pronoun. Akan mendapatkan pronoun apa sih? Jadi, astagfirullahaladzim.
Relax.
No.
Relax.
Sorry. No
Relax.
image for my.
Yes.
My.
Don't worry. Nobody is just.
Okay. I have for next time we are can meet always for study in this English for update my intellectual my skill for next time in next to I have for next to S2 in Ekonomi Syariah. Jadi, nah itu that's my English no.
We are communicating.
Ya, sorry. Mudah-mudahan kedepannya bisa. Sekian. Thanks for time. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
So, in summary, we are meeting twice a week, Thursdays and Sundays. Okay, so this is a seminar. So maybe when we meet on Sunday, we'll start. Then we'll identify if the individuals, like you said, have any challenge. Then we can arrange any extra time if we are all free. We meet here. Then we practice. So apart from the classroom, we can find another day when you are free. I come around. We sit outside. We practice English. We do it as part of our immense process of learning. Don't worry. Don't worry. English is not difficult. You understand, and you'll be perfect. Okay? Bagus.
Are there any questions? 2 people, I think. You can make questions. Okay, here.
Okay, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, permission, let me introduce myself to you. My name is Yara Fadila, representative from Faculty of Education, Arabic Language. Okay, I wanna ask, ask to you, can you tell about how the best method for improving the language So from the worst language to the good language. Okay, thank you.
Thank
Maybe
you
not
very
from
much.
me. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much. There is no best method. It depends on you. When I was discussing the methods, I said that whichever method is best depends on the teaching and the learning procedure and the resources available to you. So if you want to improve upon your language, a language that you think you are deficient, what you need to do is that, one, your time management. Boo said she is busy. Find a time, at least 30 minutes every day. You dedicate yourself to that time. No matter how tired you are, you continue practicing. If you meet someone, so you make it a point. I don't think you can leave your handset, your mobile phone in the house and come to school. You go back and pick it. Why? Because it is so dear to you. Make the method of practicing and improving the language so dear. In academia, what we do as students is that if I contract 6 courses per semester and I attend 1, 2, 3 lectures, and I realize that maybe a course in psychology, which in Bahasa Indonesia you call psychology. A course in psychology is where I am weak. What do? I prepare a jadwal and give more time to psychology to improve my psychology. So if you know you have a language deficiency in one particular language, give a schedule to that time, dedicate yourself to it, manage your stress, manage your time, manage your everything. With time, you get it. Okay? So it's all about you. We call it subjective thinking. Thank you.
Okay, give applause for us. Thank you. I think one person again. One person.
When you Google it for me, I won't answer.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Hello, Mr. Roland.
Hello, ma'am.
Let me introduce. My name is Helen. I would like one question. Can you give me one more tips about how we can more high confidence to be our conversation is more good than the before gitu.
It's all about the practice.
What?
You say you need additional tips on how you can improve your conversation to know it is good. Self-test. Self-test.
Yes.
When you are doing the practice, when you are reading, when you do the dedication, try as much as possible to try to challenge your mind. Test yourself. What I have learned, is there any improvement? You close your eyes to listen. Then you look at it again. You don't go to Google. You wanted to ask a question. You went to Google. You can never improve. Because there is always an alternative. Bahasa Indonesia alternative. There is always an alternative. So assume you don't have any alternative. The only process or the alternative is the logical reasoning. Okay? So, for example, when I speak Bahasa Indonesia now, or maybe someone uses a word, I pick the word. I get home, I try to recollect the word I couldn't. I try to get the content from which the word was used, and I get it. The following morning, I try to use that word in a sentence to someone so that I'll get familiar with it. You can only get familiar. You can only improve by getting familiar with what you do. So always challenge yourself and do the testing. There is no formula apart from what we have discussed.
And probably it's normally if sometimes we fear and shame with our conversation is not good gitu. Sometimes
you are more than the 10th person saying this. Her English is not good. She learned 15 years ago. Her English is not good. His English is not good. Whose language is good?
Yes.
Nobody's language is good. It is only me who can tell you that the language is not good. And I'm saying it's good. Practice. It is my responsibility to motivate you, to encourage you, not to condemn you. So whatever comes to your mind, you spew it out. If it is wrong, I'll tell you, oh, madam, what you said. And I'll not even correct you. Let me tell you one thing. When you speak English to me in class, and it is wrong, it is not everything I'll say in class that it is wrong. Because you may feel shy among your colleagues. I'll correct you by using the right language to teach. But I'll not tell you. When we walk out of the room, I'll call you. You said this. It should be like this. Next time you take note. That's all. Take away fear. Build your confidence level. Are you afraid of your husband? Say it in Bahasa for you to understand. Are you afraid of your husband?
No.
Swami, are you afraid of your husband?
Yeah, sometime.
Why?
Yeah.
I am asking, sorry, I am just bringing this illustration to emphasize the point. It's not about, I'm trying to know more about you. Sorry, without our responsibilities. I'm using husband because history than Swami are supposed to be partners.
Yes.
And if the person is your best friend, you shouldn't be afraid of him or her. Okay, so if you are not afraid of your anak, why will you be afraid of English, which is not orang? English cannot beat you. Why are you afraid of it? Shame on you.
Berarti conclusion is, as long we like English, it don't be fair to be explore our conversation. Is that true, Mr. Roland?
I didn't get the point. I didn't get you. Please repeat it.
Conclusion is berarti we are not to be afraid. Tidak perlu takut.
We are not to be afraid.
Yeah, afraid.
When you
to be explore our conversation.
Yes, explore. That is you have used the vocabulary, explore.
Explore our conversation.
Yes.
And then make our confidence to be wow gitu ya.
Anytime you make the attempt, clap for yourself.
Yes.
That is how it's supposed to be. So don't be afraid. The only advice I'm giving is that don't be afraid. Take away fear, nervousness, malu, shyness when you want to practice any language. Okay? Speak it out. That is the way you can improve. You can never improve if you don't practice.
Live and enjoy the English.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Thank you, Mr. Roland.
Welcome, Mom.
Give applause for us. Don't afraid. Yeah, remember 3 rules. Yeah. 1 rules is practice, and practice. Okay, thank you so much. Okay. How do you think about our seminar today? It's wow, I think it's amazing, yeah. Okay. Happy brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen. I think okay. Masih ada yang mau bertanya? Ini terakhir ya, terakhir nih. 1 orang lagi lah sebelum nanti beliau selesai gitu. Ya. One person again, I think. Who want to make question?
I will call somebody.
Okay. Who, mister? Who? Siapa? 1 orang lagi. Ini. Momennya. Manfaatkan ini loh. Ini jarang banget gitu. Oh my God. Okay. Okay, one person again who want to make question. Oh, you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Introducing, my name is Muhammad Najil Purkon. Just call me Najil. I am from Pendidikan Bahasa Arab, semester 3. My question is, if I continued my study for not English country, Turkey example, do I need English language fluently or not? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, you need English language to live in Turkey, even though Turkey is not English-speaking country. Why? Because with English, you have the global visibility. You have the global outreach. Okay? When you go to the internet, 50% of the internet content are all in English. When you go to Turkey, you meet a Turkey person around Turkey. You cannot speak Turkey when you get to Turkey. But when you speak English, the person can reply. Okay? So there is a communication. So you need English all over the world. You know, as a result of technology, the whole world has assembled at one point. On your phone, you can do anything, investasi, trade, anything around the world. The commonest platform or the language used is what? English. So yes, Turkey, yes. Indonesia, yes. China, yes. Tunisia, yes. Everywhere, yes.
Okay, give applause for us. It's amazing. I think finally, who want to give one question again? It's finally, I think. Ada? Terakhir ya? It's enough? No. Beliau selalu semangat ya, luar biasa. Oke. Cukup ya. Oke, thank you everyone. Thank you Mr. Roland to give us more experience, I think, yeah, about English with practice. I think I always remember 3 rules. Yeah. Practice, practice, and practice. It's so amazing, I think. Okay, let's closing this seminar with Alhamdulillah together. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin, and thank you so much. Thank you very much for your attentions. The last I say, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, kita take a picture dulu. Okay, take a picture ya. Kita ambil dulu foto. Di bawah aja, Haji. Gimana teh? Di atas aja. Oke, teman-teman ke atas ya, karena memang